yesterday. Yeah.
Let folks make their way in.
Where's the thing? I thought I'd get the thing. Do I not get the thing in the background? What happened to it? Do I not get them?
Oh,
Now I just look like an asshole. What am I doing?
I mean, your words, not mine. But.
I thought I need to update my computer. I guess I don't know what went on there.
Someone just DM'd me. Stay humble, man. I told him, shut up, Goofy. Get out my. Come on, bro. What are you talking about?
And tell him and for the last time, Armando, stay out of my DMs.
We'll let people get in.
Armando was talking crazy. Talking about Withers got pushed into the lane.
Pushed in. I couldn't believe that was his real page. I was like, no way you said that for real.
I think that was one of those things where you tweet it and then you put your phone down and you don't care whether it's right or not, right? You just kind of do the old this one will get engagement, bloop, get on out of there.
We'll let people come in. I'm trying to see what y'all talking about with this bar stool. Did someone come at me on Twitter? I'm not looking at my messages.
No. They were mad at other people. I saw at least one tweet where he was like, "Oh, but we half of our team is injured or whatever." Like
I don't care about none of that, bro. I don't care about none of that.
You still got 2 first-round picks in the on the team and blah blah blah. I saw a little bit of that, which fair enough, but hey, recruit better.
Someone tweeted like Withers cut down the net. I'm weak. Oh man. Oh,
he probably misstep on the ladder though.
Oh man. All right, let's get started.
You try to cut the rim or some shit,
North Mex finest.
The three of you guys, man, thank you for what you guys do, and appreciate you guys having me on.
We were trying not to score everything. We hit about 33s or something.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of felt that. We kind of feed off that energy.
This place is amazing. I really love Duke, and I love the atmosphere I'm in here.
Mark Williams, beast mode. Paolo first half, he had the cramping stuff. Fair enough. Beast mode.
Ooh, chat is booming. Chat is booming. Welcome back to the Crazy Cast day 3 of the ACC tournament. The final day. Duke gets it done. ACC champs. Without Cooper Flagg, without Maliq Brown, against the ACC so-called Coach of the Year, against the ACC so-called Defensive Player of the Year. Duke rolls after a good first half, but second half they turn it up. Oh man, we got a lot to talk about. I got my people here. Brian, Russ, and my guy Trae. Shout out to my guy Trae here making his Crazy Cast debut. Go follow him on Twitter, Trae K.
Thanks for having me.
For sure, bro. Start us off, Trae. What are your thoughts on this ACC championship?
Hey man, I'm just proud of the guys, man. They showed a lot of fight these past couple of games with being shorthanded. I love the experience that some of those role players got to get in this tournament. Guys like Isaiah, Caleb, Gillis, all those guys coming in, stepping up big. And I think, they proved something to themselves. Everybody's been kind of, acting like this team is Cooper Flagg or bust. But over these past 2 games, we played 2 alleged tournament teams, one at a possible, and handle business. So I'm proud of the guys cutting down the nets, 2 or 3 so far. One more to go.
For sure. Russ, what you got, man? You watched the game tonight, Russ? That's what the crowd said.
Yeah, I was tuned in right away. So the mojo was good. I put the dog in the crate, at the beginning of the game and at halftime. They put the dog in the crate at halftime, and so my wife, when she was leaving, she was like, "I'm going to take the dog out of the crate," and I was like, "No, we're on a run. You leave the dog in the crate. She can hang out in there for a while longer." Hey man, what a game! I got my Tyrese Proctor hoodie on.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Reese, man. What a performance after some tough shooting the first 2 nights. This is why you have experienced dudes out there. This is why you come back to school But this is why you like having guys who have experience, not just in college in general, but on your team and your program with your coach, right? Working it out that way. What an impressive performance from him when we really needed it. I was impressed across the board. I thought there were some nice sort of defensive adjustments that we made in the second half. I mean, you definitely saw them trying to blow up Edwards every time he caught the ball after he made those like first 3 or 2 in the second half, because it was like, oh, maybe he's just going to make 100 threes if we don't change it up here a little bit. So we changed it up, right? And it worked a lot better. Man, I mean, the defense was just so good in the second half, so good. Every single player, most of the players, you could really say had a really good night. I mean, Mason had some stellar defensive possessions in there. Big Pat, he does. This was probably the best game of Man's career at Duke so far, I would say. I don't know if that, like, in terms of offense, well, like, he's probably scored more points in a different game. The way that he defended on the perimeter in this game is better than I've seen him do in any other game so far this season by a lot. Like, it was not close. He had a stellar game as well. Sion was great. Khan did what Khan does. Evans made at least 1 3, I think a couple of threes. In the first half, I think you could argue he was one of our most impactful player out there in the first half. I'm just really, really proud of this team, man. To lose, it's not even like we went into the ACC tournament knowing we wouldn't have Coop, right? Like, they had to change that on the fly and then be ready to play without him against, a UNC team that's, NIT caliber with respect to Brian, and a Louisville team that's definitely making the tournament, right? Those are not easy neutral court games in a single elimination tournament without the player that you're used to throwing the ball to in close games with the game. And everybody stepped up. Everybody stepped up. Even players that didn't have individual good games in like a game had good games in other games, right? Just the whole way through. Impressed with absolutely everybody. Couldn't be happier.
Yeah, man. Brian, what you think, my guy?
Yeah, I mean, echoing what Russ said, I mean, it's hard not to be proud of these guys. They came through. I mean, I especially love that, Big Pat has become a physical presence. Babyface, but dude is a physical gangster. I mean, you look at him, you're like, oh.
He does have a baby face for like how strong he is, man. That's crazy.
One series, man, where he had to guard, I think it was Edwards on the perimeter. And Edwards was doing what Edwards does, and Big Pat just stayed there and locked him up and made him have to get the ball up. I mean, it was just, come on, man. That mug is 6'2", 6'11", and just did the damn thing.
Man, Big Pat, bro. I'm so happy for him because, oh my goodness, don't let Maliq come back, because now it's just like we have too many weapons at that point. But man, I'm proud of this team, man. Like y'all said, pretty much covered. I mean, you lose Cooper Flagg. I mean, we're all kind of saying at that point, you could lose a game and then we could just go rest. Like, but these guys never quit. They were motivated to prove like Cooper Flagg is not. This team is not all Cooper Flagg. I know Isaiah kind of had that demeanor, immediately when Cooper Flagg went down. And Khan had a point to prove. Khan is a first-team All-American type talent that we just have as a second option at this point. Like, this kid, even drawing the assignments, drawing the number one defenders, whether it's Drake Powell, Chucky at points, he's going to get his regardless. And that's what a star does. But, man, to do that without Cooper and Maliq, hey, man, it's hard just not to say they're one of the best Duke teams you've ever seen. At this point, you can't deny it. Like, you may say, oh, the ACC is weak. They haven't played anybody since Auburn, whatever. But they've beaten everybody that's been in front of them, aside from Clemson, which was a one-possession game on the road. They've lost one game in ACC play, and that cannot take that for granted. But yeah, man, it's a special team. But yeah, I guess in terms of the game tonight, what stood out most to y'all?
For me to get back, I mean, the fact that they went into the half looking dejected, looking slow, looking tired, and to come out and hit on the first 5 points with energy, I don't know where that came from. I mean, People have been saying, masterclass of Shire coaching uploading. I think this was it. And I don't think any of it was necessarily X's and O's. I think it was all heart and soul.
Yeah, I like the way the guys are just finding a way to win games. From game to game, it's always someone different. It's not, just one or two guys. If Tyrese isn't having a good game, Caleb has stepped up in the tournament and had some big moments. Isaiah's had some big moments offensively and defensively. And then like tonight, Big Pat comes in and just is a game changer with his physicality on the boards. And I think that also sparked Maliq down the stretch, because once Pat started picking up in the paint, when Maliq came back in the game, excuse me, he was a whole different player. So just the way the guys are finding a way, how every night is a different player stepping up, and also just the buttons that John is pushing the past 2 weeks has been special. Caleb goes from not playing a minute against Wake Forest, and then the next game, in the biggest rivalry game of the season, John presses his button and he comes in. It's the most impactful player in that game. And then tonight, we get, Pat ISO touches in the paint. Like, that's not something that we've done consistently all year. And just punishing guys. And the adjustment they made in the second half defensively, just getting out on shooters, just being aggressive, getting through picks, it completely changed the game. So I want to give John a lot of credit for the butts he's pressing and the adjustments he's making in the middle of games as well.
Yeah, even to that point, I think a lot of people in the first half were trying to kill John Shire. I saw a lot of John Shire hate tweets in the first half. Obviously Duke fans tend to overreact. This, but because he went zone, I tweeted it. I thought the zone was more, not even strategic, more so to stop Louisville. It was more so to give his team some rest, because they looked gassed in the first half. Khan, he was huffing and puffing. I think Tyrese, he looked a little bit.
Tyrese had the fouls. John said explicitly at the halftime interview that it was to protect Tyrese, among other things.
He said it. He said at halftime.
Yeah, he addressed it.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a strategic thing. More so, either fatigue or protect foul trouble. But I mean, second half, the adjustments were made, and the story on narrative on Shire has flipped very fast from Duke fans. But go ahead, Russ.
Yeah, I mean, did people forget what happened in the first Louisville game? I mean, it was almost an exact replica of the first Louisville game, right? So if you were destroying John in the first half of this, it's like, well, where were you in December when this exact same thing happened? I thought the zone also just would have been a good idea, not for the whole game, but Louisville takes a lot of threes, but they're 215th in the country in 3-point percentage. Rain Smith, their best 3-point shooter, was out. I mean, they got a couple of guys who can make, but I didn't hate the idea, especially given how they sort of blew up Clemson's drop coverage and really sort of abused, the space in sort of the paint and the mid-range area against Clemson. When the big men gave them that much space to operate. So I didn't think a pure drop was really going to work. So I didn't mind throwing some zone. But also I didn't mind throwing some zone because generally speaking, the big men had not acquitted themselves as well guarding in space against players with some speed and some versatility on the perimeter. Tonight they did so well. I mean, I really think you have to tip your cap to both Man and Big Pat for their defensive effort in particular. I look, when Maliq goes out, Maliq's our best defender, our top 2 best defender. He's certainly been over the course of the season our most impactful center defender. So when you lose him for a game like this, you need guys to step up. They did. And yeah, I just couldn't be happier. There were so many plays throughout that just made me so happy. And to get Stenhub in at the end of the game too, the secret weapon, or undefeated when he plays, that's so I loved that. I thought that was great.
Why are people spamming the chat? What happened with Mason Gillis? Did something happen?
Yeah, so I've been following in the Discord a little bit. I guess he and John, I guess, were talking before or during the celebration or whatever, and Mason wasn't up there on the stage for when they were cutting down the nets or whatever. So everyone was like, "Oh, they're in a fight or whatever." But somebody else in the Trilly Discord was like, "Yeah, I saw it. It didn't seem like a big deal." But I think people are just because he isn't in the wide shots. People are like, "Oh my God, like what's wrong? What happened?" I mean, he might have just had to go to the bathroom real bad. I don't know what happened. Maybe he tweaked a little something, but not that serious. I don't know. But
someone else said he had blood on him, and they wanted to get that off of him or something like that. But I don't know if that's true or not.
These stories are all over the place.
Yeah, something like this. Yeah, but like the point is, I think people, because he wasn't up there, they're always looking for something to be wrong. At the end of the day. Oh, and chat, somebody's saying he was on stage during the ceremony. It was just there were one or two big shots that everybody kept posting and being like, "Oh, Gillis hidden in this shot. Where'd he go? What happened?" He's probably fine. Yeah, and somebody's saying that he stormed off before the celebration. Somebody in the Trilly Discord said he did not storm off, but
people always looking for something.
All right, man.
I remember before the season, people were like, "Oh, you guys got Mason Gillis. Oh, the word is at Purdue is that he won't get on flights." Like, what?
What?
People just be talking to talk.
Oh man. Stop trying to find something negative. Like even I saw people start tweeting me, "Yo, is Isaiah okay before the final buzzer?" Like, what? Isaiah's over there celebrating, man. Yeah. It's a team effort. It's a team effort. But yeah, I think maybe did we nix the Spalding narrative? I guess is it dead now?
All right, hold on before you move on. I just saw somebody posted like extended video or whatever
of Gillis.
Yeah, it just looks like John and him were talking. He's handed a shirt, but he's not like jumping up and down and putting it on. Like he just they had some sort of exchange. Did not look heated at all. Mason kind of gave a smirk, but he's kind of a smirky dude anyway, and he just won an ACC title, so who the hell cares? He was handed a shirt. He didn't put it instantly on, but again, maybe it was a blood. I don't know why, but I don't think it looked like a big deal at all from the video that I just watched. So anyway,
it's fine.
Yeah, it'll be all right.
Somebody in the comments said his arm got cut up real bad, so maybe that was it. I don't know.
People just need to just enjoy the game, enjoy the win.
We can't enjoy it. What's wrong? What can we complain about? How can we fire John Shire? What happened?
Oh man, y'all be killing me, man. Y'all be killing me. But yeah, Tyrese Proctor. I don't think have we mentioned Tyrese Proctor tonight, man. My brother, Mr. I understand it now. What do you shoot? 6 of 14 from deep after starting 0 of 10. I guess the Spalding narrative is cooked at this point. I mean, 10. What they shoot? 10 to 27. That's pretty good. It doesn't offset the numbers, but I mean, they hit 10 threes. So hopefully, I guess they could take that to the tournament when they switch to Wilson. But I'm happy for Tyrese because. I think last year, I mean, we've talked about it all year. We talked about it with the preseason show with Shire. There was been a lot of animosity towards him. Obviously, last year against NC State was maybe the worst shooting performance of his career. But he was going through a stretch here where he's struggling, and in the biggest moment, he stepped up. He put Duke over the edge tonight. You can't be anything more than happy for that kid.
Yeah,
I'm passing.
I got nothing to add. Correct.
We're passing the tray on that one.
I'm still land down under.
Yeah, I want to know. He was wolfing at some point. I want to know what Australian trash talk he's giving him. You know what I mean? Australians, they've got some crazy trash talk.
Oh yeah,
do they though?
Might.
Dude, have you ever seen any of these like movies where they're out in the old at the outback? You know what I mean? Like those dudes, they like fight each other with machetes and shit. You know what I mean? Like
I've seen Ben Simmons on my team, bro. He's not talking no smack now.
I'm pretty sure I did see Khan say that Tyrese has the best trash talk on the team, though.
So I'm
Oh, he
saying,
did?
dude, he's got some weird slang probably that like we don't know about. You know that he's like confusing people on the other team, but saying the nastiest stuff about them. You know,
Tyrese goes full, like, I don't want to use the word like hood with his trash talk, but he does. Like, but it's with an Australian accent, so it's weird. It's almost intimidating. Like,
come on, man.
I'm not kidding. Like, a friend of mine who was on press row at the game with Des Bryant was there, and Tyrese said some stuff that I cannot repeat on the air or whatever. But I was like,
you can repeat it. This is.
No. I guess
we're on here.
So I don't know if it was at Des Bryant or if someone else was there. He's like some with a big ass chain. Like he was hooding it up with an Australian accent. Whoever it was, Tyrese wanted to throw hands at him.
Oh,
he might not have known who Des Bryant is.
Yeah,
dude. You also know in the way that like Australians like say like the letter R, that if he says like MFer, right? If he like says it, you know, it's got like a lilt to it. You know what I mean? It's got.
I'm gonna say MFer wasn't the word he used.
I know it wasn't, but but I mean, either way,
other people in this chat know the word he used.
Let's hope they don't put it in the comments.
That's another thing I like about this team. When you look at some of the Duke teams of the past, I think just man to man, they're in a lot of tougher Duke teams that we've had in the past. The guys that are willing to mix it up, that are going to talk. Can you cuss on here or no?
Yeah, man. Go ahead.
All right, all right.
I've already cussed a couple times. Man. I hold back a little. I'm trying not to turn the stink all the way on. You know what I mean?
All right. I don't want to mess up any sponsorships or anything.
Nah, you good.
But guys is willing to mix it up, willing to talk shit. Tyrese is going to talk. Isaiah loves to talk. He loves to talk for other people. Coop loves to talk. Pat comes in. He's popping his shit. Like everybody, even tonight, like Maliq he was ready to throw hands at halftime with somebody. Like,
yeah. Oh, man was going crazy.
Right? Yeah, it was like man. This team is willing to this team isn't going to get punked in March. That's the one thing that I'm confident in. That in some other years I was kind of weary about. Like if we play these older physical teams, kind of like Louisville tonight, they're an older team, they're physical, and we're able to match that. Even though we're a younger team and not as experienced. Like those guys aren't going to get pumped in. That's just something to be optimistic about going into the tournament time.
I mean, look at Auburn. I mean,
yeah.
Those dudes are collecting Social Security checks, and
I think John did a good job with the schedule this year because when you look at the teams we played, a lot of these teams are teams that we traditionally had trouble with in the tournament. It had super scoring guards like my man tonight that was just going to get buckets. Those are the type of games that in the tournament in the past we might get upset, but tonight, second half, we turned this water off. Yeah, 100%. Defensively, when we press that button defensively, shit gets real on these other teams. So,
no,
there were a couple of those blocks that Big Pat and Man had. I think it was Man who was they showed him in that clip afterwards, just like, get that fucking shit out of my face.
Con was kind of like, hey, shit out. He's like, all right, I'm good.
Yeah. He gave him the pat, right?
Yeah.
He's like, hey, all right.
Con got a little nervous there for a second.
Dude, when a guy that big swears in your face like that, that is tough. That's tough,
not doing man. But I think you made a great point, Trae, even just with Terrence Edwards going crazy. Number one, sorry, Terrence Edwards, we own you too. Just like we own Carolina. You're 3-0 against 0-3 against Duke in your past 365 days, including a tournament loss. But yeah, you can't beat Duke with one player. And that's why I'm very confident, even if there is a magical NCAA team, whether it's in the first couple rounds or down the road, that has the one player dropping 30, you're still going to need – the only way you beat Duke is with team basketball. We saw it with Clemson, Kentucky, Kansas, even the way they won with their start in the game was just everybody was firing on all cylinders. If you have someone dropping 40 against Duke, you still may lose by 25. Like you gotta come with your full team if you're gonna beat Duke, and that's what makes me confident just in March that they'll be able to make a deep run because they were tested today. Like after Edwards hit that what was it 2, but he hit that shot completely blanketed. At that point, I'm like, oh, they might give in tonight. But Sion right back 3 tie game,
That was
and
huge.
from there,
That was huge.
it was a wrap. It was a wrap.
Yeah. I want to say, like, you look at the 8-9 seeds, everybody talking about, the 8-9 seeds. I think you bring up a great point in that, like, the teams that are going to challenge Duke are going to need to attack with like 3 dudes plus. Like, you're going to need a real team coordinated effort. And the 8-9, there's some dangerous teams on there, but they are generally dangerous teams with like a dude or 2 dudes, right? Like sick teams with a sick guy, right? Or 2 sick guys.
Right.
So I think that's a really, really good point to make once we see, how the bracket breaks down, which we will tomorrow. But there's probably going to be a lot of I've already heard a lot of media talk about how the 8-9 line is really strong, and it generally is. But if it's 2 dudes, I do like Duke's chances of being able to counterbalance that. And to get us past that. So, and I agree with Chadwick in the comments. I would be blown away if the committee doesn't put UConn on Duke's. Like, that's such an obvious, like, no-brainer ratings bonanza matchup. Like, assuming that they get to play, but like that's just such a no-brainer ratings thing that they always do every year. So I'd be stunned if we don't get UConn
or Baylor.
Or somehow Michigan State again.
I hope they put Michigan State in our bracket.
They won't. Well, they probably can't because they need to give us an SEC team. I'm hopeful that because we're going to get an SEC team, so we're going to get one of the 2 strongest 2 seeds, just by nature of they're not going to put an SEC team opposite an SEC team in the region. Yeah. So then that means we're getting Tennessee or Alabama. That's the strongest 2 seeds. So I would hope what that means is that we're going to get one of the weaker 4 seeds. That would be my hope. That'd be really cool. So we'll see. But yeah, it'll be Tennessee or Alabama. I'm not sure which I would prefer at this point, but both of them are very, very good basketball teams. Either game would be very, very good.
Yeah, and I mean we'll talk about it tomorrow too.
I don't think about that yet.
Yeah, but that's true. Gotta enjoy the night.
My quick 2 cents on that is, I mean, I don't even care wherever the 2 seed is, because if we get to play the 2 seed, that means we're in the Elite 8, and if we're in the Elite 8, I'm confident that we're going to win that game, regardless of who we're playing at that point. But
plus, a lot can happen between first round and the Elite 8. A lot can happen to any of the 2 seeds. You might not see a 2 seed, might see a 3 seed.
Exactly.
True.
Yeah. It's March. As long as we're rolling, that's all that matters. But yeah, back to tonight. I'm trying to pull up some clips of John Shire speaking. But it seems like, I guess, Cooper is coming back Thursday. I think he confirmed that. I don't know if someone in the chat was lying, but they said Shire said it today too, that Cooper will be back.
I heard some comments today that were made that said Cooper will be back. I don't think that they said Cooper will be back Thursday. They said Cooper will be back for the tournament.
People just ran with that.
We don't play Thursday. We play Friday.
And we play Friday. That's a great point also. Yeah, I think that people are reading into that comment thinking that he will be ready right away. I'd be really surprised if Cooper plays on Friday. I mean, if he plays at all, it would be like a few minutes, right? Like get him into the game, get him a little, get him loose, get him used to shooting the ball a little bit. But I can't imagine that they risk that with far more important games ahead. Oh, Chris Brooks saying Shire said he didn't expect to play another game without him. Then limited minutes. Then limited minutes on Friday.
And expect doesn't necessarily mean that might just be for the committee as well.
It could also be for the committee. It could absolutely be for the committee.
We don't expect to, but anything could happen.
Yeah.
But I don't get it even. Why would it even tell the committee? Like, what's the benefit? Like, is the committee gonna not rank us somewhere because Cooper Flagg?
That's what I'm thinking. That they've got word that Cooper Flagg's injury status would probably impact our seeding one way or the other, or the seeding in our region, which I think is a little silly. You should be seeding teams based off what they've done, not what you think they can do.
Well, the fact that they brought it up means that the committee asked Shire that question.
Yeah, definitely that, and B, it's definitely true that this year they I don't know how much they did it in years past, but they have said pretty explicitly, we'll see if they actually follow through, because the committee sometimes just doesn't follow through with what they say. But what they do is they use resumes to determine who is going to get into the field, right? And then when it comes to determining what your seed is, they're going to weigh your predictive metrics and your analytics a lot more. Like, so Gonzaga being the great point here, right? Like, because Gonzaga has the resume of like a 9 seed or whatever, but they have the predictive metrics of being a top 10 team in the country. So you can't put them against a 1 seed in the second round. That's completely unfair to whichever 1 seed draws them, right? So they'll be like a 5 seed or a 6 seed, right? They'll split the difference. They'll do something like this. So if the committee thinks Duke is not as strong as, say, Houston or Florida without Cooper Flagg, I'm not saying that they'd take us off the 1 line. I don't think they would. But what might then end up impacting is, they said on the reveal of the top 16 teams that they try to balance those top 4 teams, right? They try to make it so that the strength is relatively evenly dispersed. If they view Duke less strongly, then that means the other teams that might be put in Duke's region might be more strong, right? So it's good for the committee to think that Duke is at full strength, because then they're going to seed us and consider our strength for predictive metric purposes based on what we are at full strength, which is one of the best teams, if not the best team in the country. So that's the long explanation there.
Gavitt did say in that interview, wherever, that, Shire confirmed that Cooper will play, and he said, but we are monitoring other injury situations with other teams. So clearly something that's
sure.
So yeah, to Russ's point, they are watching that shit.
Yeah, that's a good breakdown. I still don't necessarily agree that it's right, but
they're just they're trying not to screw, one team. Like, teams will always get screwed. That happens every year. But they're trying to, like, did Grant Nelson get hurt today? He did get hurt today, right? So, like, if Grant Nelson's hurt, like, what does that mean in terms of where they put Alabama? Like, maybe that means we're more likely to draw Alabama if they view Alabama being a weaker lead, if Grant Nelson's hurt. I don't know. We'll see.
Nelson's hurt. That's they did just announce their all tournament teams. Kaman first team, Khan first team, Tyree second team. Then Allen Lubin got on the list, man. Well, respect to him.
He gave Duke buckets.
Yeah, he gave us some problems yesterday. But no, I do agree, Russ. I mean, this probably was Kaman's cleanest game of the year. He's had more dominant, I guess, numbers. But what he did defensively today, what he did on the glass, he played like a grown man. You can kind of see like he's really coming into his own at the right time. Just even with the lobs, like, he's catching everything now out there and dunking on folks. Like, obviously, people, have been tweeting at me all year. Come on, has no hands. Come on, has no hands. We talked about it yesterday. Like, I feel like the guards also need chemistry with him, just on that connection. But it's locked in now. It's going in every time that lob is thrown.
Look at that personal foul category for Kaman.
Yeah, I mean, that's fantastic. I thought there were two moments in particular that I thought were fantastic from him. One was on the offensive end. I'm 90% sure I saw this. Maybe I'm making it up, but I saw him like yelling at whichever guard had the ball, like, and being like, kind of like, "Hey man, get me the ball." And so then after yelling at his dude, set the pick, they did the action, and he got a bucket, right? Or he got the ball fed to him, right? Again, like knowing when he's got a favorable matchup, knowing when he's got his space to do his thing at the rim. And then defensively, there was at least one possession where Hepburn got switched onto him. And I thought barbecue chicken alert, but then he did great, right? Then he did really, really well. At least one of them, I forget if it was Hepburn or Edwards, where they got him on an island, and then man, like just D'd him up the whole way and then blocked the shot when he got closer to the rim. I mean, like you were never seeing that in January, like ever. Like even in February, you weren't really seeing it, and you were seeing it against worse guards, right? Like so. Man, I was left so encouraged with what he's going to do for the team in March.
Yeah, you kind of see when the guards get switched on him in the screen action, they kind of realize like pretty quickly that like he's not a slouch on the perimeter as well, and then he's so long that they can't hit the roll guy either. So he's long enough to stop them from getting the pass to the roll guy, and he's sitting down and locking up guards on the perimeter. So I mean, he did the same thing against RJ and Cadeau yesterday. I think he's grown a lot in the area. That's one of the things, and I'm glad you mentioned that I've been like the most impressed with him, because a guy his size being able to sit down on guards and like they're not even attacking him like they would anybody else, because they realize, you know, his defensive capabilities.
I think they could see it in his eyes, like he wants that challenge. A lot of bigs are like, "Oh shit," and then Kaman's like clapping his hands, like, "Yes, please come at me."
Yeah, they're like deer in the headlights.
He wanted the smoke today in a huge way, which is just really, really cool to see. I mean, really cool to see. He also, if you noticed, at least I feel like this is true. Again, someone would have to break down the stats or whatever. I feel like he is trying to do some of those Maliq tap outs more frequently now, where earlier in the year, I think part of the whole hands discussion came from his inability to corral rebounds that maybe like weren't in his reach, or, you know, his timing wasn't quite right on the jump or the reach or whatever it was. And there were a couple today where clearly he wasn't going to be able to corral it, and he didn't even try. He tried to tap it out. It didn't always work, but I think it's the right call, and it shows some nice basketball IQ from him to go, well, if I can't grab it, what can I do that's a plus value play for my team? You know,
that's why he has no fouls.
Yeah, I said that keeps him out of foul trouble as well. Yeah,
that's huge. That's huge. I mean, he still is gonna bobble some stuff. He's still so young to the game. But like, man, tonight was such a great game from him. And Pat, Zion, I saw you tweeting about him too. Like, I'm so excited. I keep saying all year I'm excited for what he's going to be next year. I'm just excited for what he's doing right now too.
Right now,
exciting. Yeah,
I get excited to watch Pat right now when he checks in, and he plays with such confidence. Like even when he has the ball offensively, you can see the difference between him and Kaman. Like Pat is a natural on offense. Like he knows.
He hit a dream shake on dude.
Oh my God! I needed him to make that bucket so bad, but nah, he's cold, man. And I think he's starting to get confidence on the defensive end as well. But yeah, we need to stop. We need to for now. We got to put the sophomore Pat talk to rest. Let's just talk about freshman Pat, because the kid's a problem, man. The kid is a problem.
It's just coming along so much more quickly than we thought. I mean, like the flashes have always been nice, but it's becoming more than flashes. I mean, we fed him 2 possessions in a row, if I'm not mistaken. We fed him 2 possessions in a row in the final 5 minutes of the ACC championship game. I mean, that's the sort of thing that you do for, again, not to allude to what he could become, but that's like what you do for a guy who scores double digits a game, right? That's a guy who you go, okay, well, I need 2 points. What's my best option? Dump it down to the guy who's going to get the 2 points. You know, that's what he can give us. That's what he gave us in some spots today, and hopefully going forward for this year and however long we have him, we can just continue to see that from him. It's so cool to see.
I remember a quick story about when Duke was recruiting Big Pat as well as Flory Badunga, who's at Kansas now, and everyone thought Badunga was going to go to Duke. And I know the guys at the Devil's Den were like, yes, it's a possibility, but John wants Big Pat over him.
Mm.
That's the guy that John wanted all along. He wanted both, but Big Pat was the one that really caught his eye, the one that he really went after. And I think now we see why.
Yeah. Badunga's good too.
Oh, he's very good.
He's really good too. But
Pat brings something a little different. Pat's smoother on offense. Badunga will just dunks everything, which is great. But I think Pat has a more polished offensive game when he's, fully healthy and in shape and all that.
Yeah, he's got some passing to him too. I mean, he knows.
I think he has a jumper too. I mean, they're not gonna let him shoot it. But I mean,
his free throw touch was nice tonight. So that lets me believe he has a nice jumper.
Yeah, I mean,
the footwork inside. I mean, just like beautiful. When was the last time? Well, I don't want to say when was the last time because we've had a bunch of big men who are really good, but this feels like a true big man type of thing, right?
Vernon Carey is the last time to your answer.
That's where I was gonna go with that probably.
But I think he has more Jaleel game. I'm not saying he's that level, but like the footwork and the quickness on his moves, I think is more Jaleel like to me. Well, he can like flow into a layup,
That move right there is very much Jaleel.
Yeah. And that's the crazy part. I mean, that you pointed out, Russ. All year we've kind of been like we don't have. That was probably like the one thing we didn't have on our offense. We're never gonna throw the ball into the post to get a bucket. We make
yeah.
We'll do it occasionally with Khan if there's a mismatch, Sion if there's a mismatch. But the bigs, come on, I've never seen us say, "Yo, come on, just go get a bucket."
No.
So,
bro, when he dribbled once today, I was like, how many times has he dribbled inside this season? Like, I bet you can probably count them on your hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
for good reason.
And that honestly frustrated me at the beginning of the season a lot too, because I mean we're so much bigger than most of the teams we're playing. I'm like, man, paint touches, intentional paint touches, but to John's credit, he had a method and he's worked it out throughout the year. The guys are spread out. There's a good flow to the game, and when our guards are driving, it's not clogged up in there.
Right.
Khan can put a smaller guard on his hip, drive it to the bucket and get it easy. Same with Sion. Like those guys. I mean, and even lately, John's been doing intentional paint touches with our guards. Like against Carolina, he was putting Cadeau in paint action, in post action in the paint. Doing the same thing with RJ. So he's using our big guards in the paint more so than our big men. But tonight, I seen more of that with Pat, and I was, excited about what I seen from Pat, because when you get in a tournament, you're playing these teams that got, big time rim protectors. You can use that to get them in some foul trouble, just get them exert some more energy on defense, so they're not just, playing help side defense all night and just getting a rim run. So I think, going into the tournament, John's getting a lot of confidence in those guys, and that'll be able to, he'll be able to loosen the rotation up a little bit, even once Cooper and maybe Maliq comes back.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, if we want to talk about footwork too, Khan, does how high on the list of because he's technically like a guard or small forward at absolute, biggest, right? When was the last time we had a guy who had that strong of like a combination of strength and footwork inside? Like every time he gets inside, I'm thinking he's getting a layup just every single time with no exception. When he gets the ball within 10 feet, I think it's going in every single time. Like who was the last guy we had that was that good and that finessed inside?
And that played like at that pace,
at that position, never.
Yeah, he's got that YMCA pace, and he's got that a dude who's 50 and has like a knee brace on pace that when he plays with inside, but like that dude will give you buckets at the Y any given Saturday morning, man. So
I'm playing in his dad's league like forever, like against these old like Wisconsin basketball players that played, in college for 3 or 4 years.
That's right.
He's played against those guys since he was like in the 6th grade. So
Gary Trent. Someone say Gary Trent. Oh yeah. I don't think he had the
long, but did he go inside like that much?
He like shot 40-something% from 3.
He did against Miami. He had 30, but not consistent. I want to say as consistently, but he was also playing with Marvin Bagley and Wendell Carter. So how much are you going to go inside?
Yeah, I
No
mean
need to.
that certainly makes a difference.
RJ was a little closer. I see somebody in the chat say RJ. That was a little
RJ.
closer.
Yeah.
I feel like RJ was more downhill a little.
Yeah, it's
more.
more downhill. That's why I was thinking like only person that I would really think about, which is a different position, is Paolo, just coming from the perimeter, getting to the paint and using his footwork to score on guys. But he's more of a forward where Khan's a guard.
Yeah,
And Paolo still finished so much with those mid rangers or with those short jumpers, and Khan so often actually finishes at the rim.
Yeah.
Or
like
gets
even the
fouled
Jones
doing it.
brothers didn't finish at the rim nearly with the frequency and the high level that Khan does. Like, yeah, Khan is like just a freak. I know, like I've seen a bunch of the like Duka Koncic, like stuff, and he doesn't really play like that. But I kind of get it in the sense that like seeing a white guy who can just like get to the rim and finish off the
And doesn't
glass
get sped up.
and does not get sped up, kind of plays low key, sort of slow, but is just so good at using his size. I mean, but Dunleavy was more like obviously an athletic freak than Khan is. Like,
Yeah.
he
He wasn't necessarily backing guys down or doing that kind of thing. He was just, but he was a whiz. I mean, I love Dunleavy to death.
I mean, yeah,
different.
This guard group is just strong. I mean, Khan and Sion, like they're going to punish guards like on offensively and defensively. Like, they're so much bigger and stronger than the guys that they're guarding and is guarding them that they can get in the paint and get whatever they want at any point.
Mm.
Sion is the most yoked dude I've seen at Duke since Nate James. Like,
Yeah.
the James last name, which I think is a fun coincidence. Like that picture that they posted where dude looked like he was CGI'd, like Incredible Hulk style. Like, bro, what's going on?
Like those old Baycott pictures where they would Photoshop him with the muscles. That's what Sion really is.
Bro, it's crazy to think about. Like,
Sion is also unique in himself. He
is
something we really see, especially playing point guard.
He is.
Yeah.
He just doesn't get the whistle because he's so swole. Like he doesn't get the whistle. Like Khan at least gets the whistle more.
Yeah, the guys bounce off him, but still he should get the call. It's not his fault.
Yeah.
For sure. No, I completely agree.
Imagine if he was like a Zion size. Like, oh my god.
I was gonna say this, Brian.
This is probably the answer. This might be the answer.
I was gonna say that Luke Kennard, but I don't remember if he got to the rim as much as Khan did.
I don't think so.
Probably not. He probably turned around a little more. He'd probably do some of that.
Come on, curls with the midi.
I was thinking about guys like DeMarcus Nelson or I was trying to go like back to again like dudes who were guard wing types of dudes, but were defined by their strength, who were like so strong. Khan just doesn't look as yoked as Sion is, but he is so strong. There's guys 4 or 5 inches taller than him to get bullied by Khan inside. It's crazy.
Got that country strength.
he's corn fed,
big country.
But shout out to Nathan Med, who was in the building today. I think he was with Louisville donors though, so that's what they're saying. But I think you saw. I think he got a message.
He ramped up his asking price after tonight. I'll tell you that.
He's like, Dad, if you can't beat Duke with fifth-year seniors, what you gonna do with my freshmen?
Without Cooper and Maliq, like, come on, bro. But yeah, whatever decision he makes,
good for him.
Good for him.
They said he's announced on April 1st, right? Did I see this?
April 1st. Oh, that's in 2 weeks.
Oh, it's my anniversary. Interesting.
Oh man.
Well, happy anniversary. I don't know that we're getting it, but happy.
I'm okay if we do. I'm okay if we don't, honestly.
Yeah,
I agree. But it'd be very cool. I think he's a very talented dude. But
as long as he doesn't chase anybody away, I'm good with
it. Hey, listen, if they don't get him, that portal talks.
It does.
That port.
Does.
We've been hearing some portal names too, but we won't get into that. We won't get it.
We'll wait. We'll wait.
Yeah.
Oh, when's my court date? Oh, yeah, man. Oh man, that was the craziest thing, bro. He said, "I'm reporting you to the local authorities, bro." Come on, dog.
Sir, this is a Wendy's.
Oh man, I don't even want to address that, dude.
Dude, there were a bunch of, I don't know about you, Zion, but there were a bunch of UNC dudes in my mentions who were like, yeah, that dude sucks.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There were a lot of people like, we don't associate with like, we know there's Duke guys who are kind of like this too, right? Like there's Duke guys who we don't need to mention who it's like, nah, we don't associate with these dudes, right? I guess he's one of these guys, at least according to my mentions. So what do I know?
Hey, I was getting some weird DMs. People were talking about, oh, you should be poking this kid. Man, that picture was his profile picture.
I know. It wasn't like you dug into his past and pulled out his family photos.
Like, man, like some dude was like, man, there's a place in hell for people like you posting kids. I'm like, all right, man. Like, y'all doing the most, man.
We went Karen real quick.
It's in the condo next to him. I'll take that.
Oh man, enough of that guy though. Karma is definitely undefeated though. It is definitely undefeated. But yeah, any last thoughts, fellas? Before we head out?
We good over here.
Yeah, the game was so good that Brian turned his lights on. It was incredible.
I don't like to do that.
Yeah. I'm just so pleased. I did not think. I know when I tweeted the other day when Cooper got hurt, I tweeted, well, I guess we just got to go win the ACC tournament without him. But I definitely was not always convinced that we would be able to. It's just such a huge change tactically. Like, we've always had the talent, we've got the coaching, we've got everything we want, but I didn't know necessarily that it would happen. Losing your two best plus-minus guys on the season, your two best defenders, your isolation scorer that you give the ball to down the stretch, all not things that we prepared for before the ACC tournament. That's such a huge ask. So the fact that we were able to win the ACC tournament despite all of that, even with all the talent that we have still, granted, that's still just tactically a huge change. And I think that the coaching staff deserves a huge, huge amount of credit. And I tell you what, any of the people who are like, what's this team going to look like, tactically once Jay Lucas is gone, hey, I thought the coaching staff acquitted themselves exceptionally well this week. So I don't think if anybody has concerns about that, I don't have them. I don't share them.
Nope. Like you said, you hit on the head. I mean, they proved this week. I mean, the coaching staff got dealt the hardest hand, losing your best player, your best defender, and pretty much getting
the coach,
and pretty much getting the matchups, the hardest matchups you could get. I guess aside from playing Clemson, but Louisville beat
Even Clemson was down a player, right? I mean, did one of the
Dylan Hunter went down, and I think he's done for the year.
Yeah, I think he broke his hand, right?
He broke his hand.
Yeah, he's toast. So I don't know if Monty's still in the mentions here. Monty and I have a $100 bet about how many whether the ACC or SEC will have more teams in the Elite Eight this year. And I took the SEC. Monty holding it down for the home conference, which I think is a huge mistake on his part.
Did you give him points or something? Because that's
right.
I think it's heads up, dude. I tried to lure somebody else in with points, but I'm pretty sure Monty just he jumped right in 2 feet first. You know what I mean? Wow. So hey, there he is. Yeah, he's in the comments. Shout out Monty, man. It's not impossible, but you've got to hurdle to keep, especially with Dylan Hunter going down, man.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm Team Monty, bro. I'm on the same page with Monty, man. I think it's gonna turn out that way. I've been thinking it for a while.
Nah, come on, man.
I think it's gonna turn out that way, man. I don't know. I think,
but you're talking about going to church and asking God for a miracle is what you're doing, right? Like that's what it is. SEC is going to have like 10 or 11 teams. The ACC is going to have 3.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough.
SEC
Gonna be
gotta
rough.
prove it to me, man. A lot of football schools, man.
Yeah, you know what can happen? 6 or 7 of those football schools can lose, and I'll still win the bet.
True.
Hey, I don't know, man. I've been on the same wave of late, but we'll see. We'll see. As long as
Hey.
Duke, is the one team.
Hey, I agree. I think we'll get one. I don't think Louisville's an Elite 8 team, man. I don't. They're gonna be like a 7 seed. That's gonna be. You think this team is gonna beat a 2 seed and gonna beat a 3 seed? Like back to like. I don't know.
It depends. I mean, like you were saying, like they're one of those teams with like one really great score, but they have like 2 or 3 though, so they might be able to,
maybe. I like
Smith back.
They got some good coaching. They got some good. I guess it depends on what 2 seed they draw.
Matchups,
Yeah,
right?
it's about the matchups.
Like, do you see this team? Do you see Louisville beating Tennessee? No, I don't. Do you see them beating St. John's?
Tennessee be having lapses that like they don't score at all. So I don't
Louisville
know.
didn't score for like 8 minutes tonight.
Well, it's us. We're playing against us though. But yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I think Tennessee and St. John's are really brutal matchups for them. I think Michigan State's been playing really well.
I think they can take Michigan State.
Alabama without Grant Nelson, that definitely like opens a door, I guess. But like, if you're going to try and run and gun the way Louisville does, I don't think you want to run and gun against Alabama.
Alabama. For sure not.
Do I believe in Mark Mitchell? Mark's hurt, by the way. I hope Mark's okay. Mark got hurt in the last game, so I hope he's okay for the tournament. Yeah.
Oh man,
Good dude.
Rick Barnes tournament history. Hey, I didn't say Final Four. I said Elite 8. Yeah,
we'll see. Though.
I don't know, man. We'll see. It doesn't matter. But like the point being, this team, Duke, man, what a fantastic last week this has been. This the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. But like,
shout out the women too, man.
And the women,
for sure.
Yo, me and Trae been talking about the women all year, bro.
You see, what's her face? One of the players called it like,
yeah,
they're gonna win.
Cable, yeah.
Nah. She's like, I'll do the water when we win the ACC tournament. Book it.
She's like, clip this with that clip.
Hey, and I think like moving forward, a lot of ACC coaches are going to lose their jobs and be replaced by people who are a lot better. So like that's promising going forward. So maybe Monty, if you want to do the same bet next year, I'm not doing it now, but maybe you'll have a better chance next year when NC State and Virginia have actual coaches on the sidelines and things get a little more interesting.
Yeah, but we'll see. We got still got a long way to go. Hopefully the next three weekends we are here. But yeah, the real game's about to start. Definitely tap in with us. Someone did ask if we'll be here tomorrow. We'll be here tomorrow. Shout out to
what time is that, by the way?
It's like 6 always, right? Is that when the selections? I'm pretty sure it's 6.
Are we going to go live during the actual like selection like we did last year, or are we doing it after?
Yeah, why not? Let's do it live. People watch with us.
Do it live.
I knew that.
Ryan knows the reference. Ryan's got me.
Oh yeah, I guess Ryan's coming back tomorrow. So it's been 3 months.
Yeah, the triumphant return
away from the pod. Yeah, people are saying 6 Eastern.
We're gonna be like, Ryan, what do you think about all these teams? And he's gonna be like, I didn't watch a lick of college basketball this year. I can't help you. But he's gonna have a great mustache, and it's gonna be nice to see his face.
Oh man, but yeah, we appreciate y'all for tapping in with us this whole stretch, this whole ACC, the regular season to the ACC tournament. It's been a hell of a year. Yes, DDMF. Come on, put it back up on the screen. Yes, sir.
You know what it is.
Although it was backwards, it was mirrored, but you still understand.
Unmirror your screen, man. Come on.
You get the point, though.
At least turn the lights on. The unmirrored screen is too much to ask. Let's.
And tonight, the ESPN cameras were like half a second from catching Flagg's mom dropping that during.
Oh, really?
The post game.
They got her saying.
I posted the video. Like they cut like she was right at the end of it, but.
Man, I love that woman. I
I
love
know,
that woman.
all-time Duke mom.
Hey,
All
chill,
time.
Brian.
Brian, that does sound crazy, Brian.
I tweeted it and she liked it when I tweeted that. So
I bet you did.
But yeah, oh man,
All-time Duke mom.
she up there. She up there with Chucky Okafor for best Duke parents.
Oh yeah.
But
Hell
we
yeah,
appreciate y'all. Go tap in with my guy Brian, Duke blogger. Go tap in with my guy Trae. It's Trae K _ right? That's the actual Twitter handle. Yeah, go follow my guy. Good stuff. Really knows ball. You're in Charlotte, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He's in the area. You know, he knows Isaiah Evans before we did. But yeah, we appreciate y'all for tapping
And
in.
go follow me. What happened to my shout out? What happened to that?
You good, bro.
Anybody on here is already following you.
If you're not following them already, then they're not gonna follow you now. So
I was great tonight. I was fantastic.
But we appreciate y'all. Hey, if you listen to this episode this far, tweet at Russ. Follow me. Just hashtag follow me. Hashtag
Don't even
follow.
tweet that. Just follow me.
No,
Just
don't actually follow me. You don't actually have to follow me. But
well, you should.
we appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all tomorrow.